All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our smart contracts project. Let's have a look at what we're going to be going over today. Now, today we're back inside of our Moccasin's favorites creating project section of the module. Let's pick up some light reading so we can move forward. Now, notice that we are not using a Python command to run our script. This is because Moccasin automatically handles the execution of our script for us. Also notice that we are not using a UV run command to run our script for the same reasons. And notice that we are not including the script path in our command. This is because Moccasin automatically looks for the script folder in our project, so the command is shorter and easier to remember. Lastly, notice that we didn't have to include the .py at the end of our deploy file for the same reason that we did not need to add the script path. Moccasin will automatically look for the deploy file once we run the script. Now that we have our script set up, we can run it by using the mox run deploy command in our terminal. Once we run this command, we will see that the output in our terminal, which will put us into the interactive debugger. Because again, we're using our debugger. The last thing we did was actually add a debugger to our file. Let me move up so I can show you exactly what that looks like. Where's the breakpoint here is how we actually added our debugger. So once we run our or deploy our contract, it'll drop us into the breakpoint when we can start interacting with the debugger and inspecting our contract. So now that we have our script up and running, we did that part already. Once we run this command, we will see our output in the terminal, which will put us into the debugger. We did that. From here, we can inspect the favorites contract and see what functions are available in the contract and how to interact with it. Now, once we are in the PDB prompt, we can type C to continue the execution of our contract. This will deploy our contract to the env terminal. So once we're inside of that debugger or we're using that breakpoint, we can actually type in C to continue after we inspected everything and make sure everything is running properly. We'll just type in C and that will continue the execution of our contract. But instead, we will use this command here. We will say type favorites. This will show us the type of the favorites contract, which is a class. We can also use the dir favorites command to see all the functions available in the favorites contract. Now, this will show us a list of all the functions available in the favorites contract when we run this dir favorites command, as opposed to using the type favorites, which will show us what type of contract it is or which class it is. Note the contract class should be of type Viper deployer. The Viper deployer also comes with another very nice command, which is also a deploy command. Let's move down a little bit more. Let me move down a little bit more. Now, this is how we will modify our contract to use the Viper deploy command in our script. Let's go down a little bit more. We would say define deploy, favorites contract, equals favorite dot deploy. And again, we would use this deploy command here to run our favorites.py file. We would actually store that in this variable here, favorites contract. Let's move down a little bit more. And then we would say define Moccasin main. Of course, Moccasin main is going to actually run our deploy function. Our deploy function holds our favorites contract variable, which holds our favorites.plot or favorites.deploy function, which is going to deploy our favorites.py file. Now, I'm going to leave it right there for now. Like I said, I'm not going to move too far, too fast. I'm going to make sure you have an understanding of everything that we're doing and everything that we're going over. So we're going to leave it there for now. But tomorrow we will pick up, so stay tuned for that. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.